Good evening, friends and fiends, and welcome back. Tonight we are playing Super Castlevania 4. I put a poll up on my Discord and pitched 4 different Castlevanias, and this was the one that everybody decided that we were playing tonight, which is a great choice because it is a fantastic game. It's one of my favorites. One of the things we're going to do tonight, we'll do this a little bit later on once some folks get into chat. We are going to sort of talk a little bit about my favorite tier list of the different Castlevanias and just sort of ranking the different games. I haven't played every single Castlevania, but I have played quite a few of them. I don't have much experience with the Nintendo 64 selection of games, and there's a couple of the different remakes and versions that I haven't played, but I've played most of the other Castlevania games, so we'll get into that in just a little bit. I'm really excited for the announcement of Castlevania Belmont's Curse. If you're not familiar with that, Konami has announced that they are coming out with a brand new Castlevania game. This will be the first side-scrolling Castlevania game that we've had since Order of Ecclesia, which came out in 2012? I think that's right. Let's see. 2008, actually. It was even older than I thought. So Order of Ecclesia came out in 2008. It was the last side-scrolling 2D Castlevania. We did have the Lords of Shadow series. Those came out a little bit later in the 2000s. So that's been pretty much the last that we've seen from Castlevania. And I kind of wondered if we might be getting a new game this year, because this year is the 40th anniversary of the Castlevania series. It is the original game came out in September of 1986, and I'm thinking that's probably around the time when we will see a release date for Belmont's Curse. I have a video on the channel where I talk about, we watched the Belmont's Curse trailer, and we kind of go through, and I offer some of my own theories as far as like who the playable character is and how that game ties into the rest of the series. So if you haven't checked that video out, please do so. It's on the channel, and I don't know, I'm really excited for the new game. Aqua Wolf, welcome in, says 2008 isn't old. Denial. I agree, 2008 is not old, but as far as a game release for this series, it is an old thing. Welcome in, Aqua Wolf. Welcome in, Trial Fan. I see you guys. How is everybody doing tonight? Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and hop into my tier list, and we'll start working on that. We'll take a few minutes to do that, and then we will hop into our game. So, this is a list of all of the different Castlevania games, and like I said, most of them I've played, some of them I haven't. Looks like this first one is Kid Dracula. We played that on stream just recently. It was actually the first time that I ever played it. I just recently picked up the Castlevania Anniversary Series collection, and it included Kid Dracula in it. It's the first time I've ever played the game. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to put it kind of here just because I don't have a lot of experience with it. It might go up into excellent, but for now I'm going to leave it at great just because I really enjoyed it, but I don't have a lot of experience with it. Castlevania Chronicles came out for the Sony PlayStation. It is a remake of Akuma Joe Dracula, which itself is a 1993 remake of the original Castlevania game. It was okay. It was pretty good. I don't know that it's one of my favorites. I didn't really feel that there was a need for a big, to do another remake of that game. The original Castlevania has been remade a couple of times, and I don't feel like it added a lot of value to it. So we're going to put it in good. Castlevania Judgment I have never played. And honestly, I don't have any interest in playing this one. This is a weird example in the Castlevania series. They turned Castlevania into a fighting game, and they brought various characters from all of the different games as sort of like a Smash Brothers kind of thing for Konami. I'm not a fan of the art style. They took a lot of really weird liberties with the character designs, and I'm just not really interested in it. You know, if it were something that finally like comes across, I might play it, but like I said, it's not something I'm super interested in. Harmony of Despair. I had this one on the Xbox 360, and it's a really interesting one because it was the first, and I guess really the only, multiplayer Castlevania game. It again had sort of a situation where you had characters from different games in the franchise, brought them together, but it was a side-scroller. You traverse through the castle. There's different levels. You can get equipment for your character and sort of build them up over time. I liked it. I loved it. It was really, really good. I'm gonna put it at excellent. You know, Konami has said that we're gonna get some new things for the 40th anniversary. I would love to see Harmony of Despair come back. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I would love to see that one come back, or something very similar. Kid Dracula for the Game Boy. I have not played that one, so it's gonna go in the never play pile. Castlevania Symphony of the Night, you guys know that one has to go to Legendary. It is by far one of my absolute favorite Castlevania games. Again, you know, you guys have heard me gripe about the difficulty issues. I feel like it's a little bit too easy. I'm actually planning on doing a couple of challenge runs in Castlevania Symphony of the Night coming up. I'm thinking about streaming either a Naked Alucard challenge or possibly doing a Magician run. Naked Alucard is where you run through the game, but you can't equip any gear. So you can still use sub-weapons, you can still use magic, you can still punch enemies, but you can't equip any special equipment or weapons. Gonna be really difficult because you don't have use of a shield. Magician run is where you go through the game using magic throughout the whole way, which is pretty neat, but it can be kind of tedious at the beginning until you get your magic boosted up. Lament of Innocence was a 3D Castlevania. It came out for the PlayStation 2. You know, I liked it. I think it's going to go in great. I don't remember, like, it doesn't really stick out in my memory as a game that was like super phenomenal, but I really, really enjoyed it. Let's see, this is Dawn of Sorrow for the Nintendo DS. Fantastic game. Really captures the same sort of feel as Symphony of the Night. Instead of playing Alucard, you play Soma Cruz, who is, I don't want to really spoil things, but he's basically an incarnation of Dracula, but he's not a bad guy. He has the potential to become a bad guy, let's put it that way. Hey Dancer, welcome in. How are you doing? We are doing a tier list of Castlevania, kind of listing my favorite games and putting them in the rank, and then after we're done with that, we will get into playing Super Castlevania 4 tonight. Curse of Darkness. If you have watched the Castlevania Netflix series, the characters Hector and Isaac come from Castlevania Curse of Darkness. It is a really interesting game. It's 3D. It kind of suffers a little bit, like the graphics haven't aged that well, but it's probably my favorite of the 3D Castlevanias. I'm going to put it at excellent just because it does have a couple of little problems. There are some spots where you're just running very slowly through corridors and it takes a long time. Castlevania Adventure for the Game Boy. I had this one. It's pretty good. I don't really know where I want to put it. I'm gonna put it at great, just because it plays a lot like the first Castlevania game. It did feel to me like the movement was a lot slower. So that's probably the only reason that I'm gonna put it at great instead of putting it at excellent. Aria of Sorrow's definitely going to the top. It's just as good as its sequel, Dawn of Sorrow. Another really great kind of Igavania. Iga being Koji Igarashi, who is the creator of several of these games that are going to be on the top list. Simon's Quest. Oh man, this is probably my favorite of the NES Castlevanias. I played this one more than any other one when I was a kid, and it's one that I've played several times on this stream. I'm gonna put Simon's Quest at excellent, and the only reason it doesn't go to legendary is that it's just got some issues as far as the translation goes. If there were something that I would really love to see for the 40th anniversary, I would love to see a remake of Simon's Quest. That would be a day one purchase for me. It is easily one of my favorite games. It really laid the groundwork for a lot of these other types of games up here. Kitty, yes, Aquawolf. This is Pixel. You are new to the stream, so you have not met Pixel yet. Pixel shows up in almost all of my streams. She sometimes is a little bit of a terror. We'll see if she wants to be nice today. I can't see the very bottom here, so I'm just gonna pick one out at random. Let's go for Castlevania: The Dracula X Chronicles. I'm gonna put that at excellent. It includes a 3D version. Well, I say 3D. It's a side scroller, but it does have 3D graphics, so I guess it's kind of more of like a 2.5D. It has a version of that of Rondo of Blood, which is probably one of the best classic Castlevanias. It also includes a port of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Hi, Stone Homie. Welcome in. How are you doing? We are doing a tier list of Castlevania games, so you can find out my favorites here. So, since we just did Castlevania Dracula X Chronicles, I'm going to say Rondo of Blood goes just beneath it. And that's not because the game suffers in any way. It's just that I think the Dracula X Chronicles version was just a little bit better. That's my personal choice. Castlevania The Adventure Rebirth. I wish I could have played this one. Castlevania The Adventure Rebirth was a remake of Castlevania Adventure, the Game Boy game. It was only released on the Wii U for the Virtual Console. Unfortunately, they shut that down a couple years ago, and you cannot legally acquire Castlevania Adventure Rebirth anymore. I think there's probably some emulation out there for it. I just haven't looked. So it might be something that I look into in the future. Circle of the Moon. Circle of the Moon, I like it. It came out for the Game Boy Advance. The only thing I don't like about it is I'm really not a fan of the controls. This kind of hurts me because it's kind of a mix between excellent and great, but the controls irritate me enough that I'm probably going to put it down to great. Dracula's Curse, solid, excellent, really great game. Could go into legendary, to be honest. In fact, I think I'm going to put it there. It's the first one that had multiple characters that you could play, and I really, really like that. And it also has, even though it's a side scroller and you can't backtrack like you can in the Metroidvanias, it does have like diverging paths, so there's quite a bit of replay value to the game, more so than you might find in a lot of NES, just because you can pick different characters, you can go in different routes. I think it's going to go there. It's not one that I stream very often, and I probably should stream it more. Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2 I have not played, and Castlevania Lords of Shadow, what is it? Mirror of Fate. I have both of those. I just haven't played them. I need to get around to doing that at some point. No, wait, that's actually Lords of Shadow. Hold on. I'm getting my things mixed up. I have played the first one. Lords of Shadow, I'm going to put it at great. It plays a lot more like it plays a lot more like God of War, like the early God of War games, than it does to a Castlevania game to me. It does have some pretty cool voice acting, though. Patrick Stewart is a voice actor in it, and Jason Isaacs. Stonehomie said, where does Castlevania 64 rank? And you know what? I have never played Castlevania 64. And I have not played Legacy of Darkness, which is a remake of Castlevania 64. Those are on my list. I need to play those at some point. I don't have a lot of experience with the N64 library as a whole. I rented an N64 system once just so that I could play Star Fox 64. And I beat it in a weekend. And that is like the only experience that I really have with the Nintendo 64, other than playing like at the kiosks at, you know, Walmart or something like that. Portrait of Ruin is going to Legendary. It is one of my all-time favorites, and so is Order of Ecclesia. I just picked up the Castlevania Dominus collection. I got that on sale. They actually put it on sale right after the Castlevania Belmont's Curse announcement. So I'm excited to play both of those again. We'll be streaming those in the future as well. Castlevania Legends. Castlevania Legends is interesting because it involves Sonia Belmont, who at the time was the first female playable character in Castlevania. However, I'm not a fan of the gameplay. I love Sonia's story and I love her as a character. I'm not a fan of the gameplay of that one. It doesn't even really stand up to Castlevania Adventure. Trial Fan said, Wobble, go ahead and finish your never played list. I think I've played most of the other ones here. Oh, that's right. I haven't played Mirror of Fate. That's the only one that I haven't played there. Let's see. Harmony of Dissonance is going to go in excellent. It has this weird thing where like they put this like neon blue outline around the character that I hate, but I found ROM hacks of it that take that out. I really enjoy it. It's a great one. Bloodlines is one that we just discovered not too long ago. I played it for the first time on stream just a couple weeks ago, I guess. It's really good. I'm really loving it. Definitely going into excellent. Belmont's Revenge is another Game Boy Castlevania. I'm going to put it at good. Just because I didn't feel like it was that much better than Adventure. So yeah, it's gonna stay right around there. Castlevania, the original, I mean, we got to put it at Legendary, right? It's the thing that kicked this whole thing off. It's such a good game. It's way up there. I think this is Vampire Killer. And if I'm right, if I'm recognizing it right, this is Vampire Killer, which is a sort of a different version of Castlevania. It doesn't have side-scrolling, it has like flip screens. So I'm gonna put it at great. It's pretty good. It's not as good as the original, I think. Castlevania Dracula X, we're gonna put it at good. Castlevania Dracula X is a remake of Rondo of Blood, which was released for the Super NES. However, it's more of, in a lot of ways, it's almost its own game because it uses the assets of Rondo of Blood, but it really kind of puts them in its own order. I don't think it's quite as good as Rondo of Blood is, but it's still a pretty decent game. And then finally, Super Castlevania 4, which we are playing tonight. That's going in Legendary because it is probably my favorite of the classic Castlevanias. I think that if I play it more, Bloodlines might get bumped up to Legendary as well. I just don't have a lot of experience with it. I've only played it once or twice. So that is my list of all the Castlevania games that are released at the moment. The only ones that I haven't played, like I said, are Judgment, Kid Dracula for the Game Boy, which I definitely think we will play soon. Adventure Rebirth, I definitely want to play because I would love to try that. That's, like I said, the remake of Castlevania Adventure. I want to play these four. Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2, Castlevania Mirror of Fate, and then I'll probably just do Castlevania Legacy of Darkness, because it is a remake of Castlevania 64. So that's what I want to do in the future. So yeah, we are going to go ahead and hop into our game now. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with my choices, or do you think that some of these games should be ranked higher or lower? Stone Homie says, let's do Kid Dracula on stream. We will definitely do more Kid Dracula on stream. In fact, depending on time, we might actually do some of that tonight. I don't know. I'm actually playing Super Castlevania 4 on my Super NES emulator tonight, even though it is included in the Castlevania Anniversary Collection. Stonehomie says, an agreeable list. I haven't played many more than you. You played the 64 Castlevanias, right? Oh. Not to completion. Have you played Lament of Innocence or Curse of Darkness? If you ever get a chance to play those, they're both on PlayStation 2. I would be curious to see how they compare to Castlevania 64. One of the things that's kind of weird about this game is, like, you kind of have to jump into corners when you want to go under something. I remember thinking that this was so cool, like, whenever you could go behind the background. It's a feature that they use in Super Mario as well. Just one of those first little glimpses of what the Super Nintendo could actually do compared to its predecessor. There are a couple of games on the NES that do allow you to go into the background, but usually it's not something that the player has control over. It's just sort of a background feature. Stone Homie says, I played 1, 2, 4, X, Symphony of the Night, and the ones from the Game Boy collection on Steam. Never beat any of the early ones before Symphony of the Night, though. Aquawolf says, the Super NES was pretty epic. I agree. What is your favorite Super Nintendo game, Aquawolf? Aquawolf says, although it could be frustrating, I like Donkey Kong and the saving was rough. I liked Donkey Kong. I'm not very good at it. I really should play that one some more. Aquawolf says, my favorite was hands down Tetris Attack with Donkey Kong close. I don't know if I ever played Tetris Attack. I mostly played Tetris on my Game Boy. And like, I've played other versions of it, but I always, every time I play Tetris, I always want to play the Game Boy version of it. Stonehomie says, Final Fantasy IV, Big Sky Trooper. I don't know that I'm familiar with that one. I need to check that one out. Maximum Carnage, Lufia 2. We should do Lufia on the stream at some point. I've actually been thinking about doing another big RPG series where we play through some kind of RPG. Thinking I might actually do Super Mario RPG. I was watching a friend stream it for the remake on the Switch, and it's got me thinking that I want to play the original again. Pixel, I can't see. You're in my way. She is sitting right in front of my monitor, which is a thing she's done since she was a tiny kitten. And when she was a tiny kitten, that was fine, because she's not very big. But now she's starting to grow into a full-grown cat, and it's getting harder and harder. Okay, hold on. You are right where I need to see. So you come up here. You won't stay there. I know you won't. Actually, you might. Oh, no! No! I like the little details in this room. Like, you have the skeleton horse in the background, just sitting there grazing. Stonehomie said, I'm enjoying my stroll through the Halo collection. I don't know if it's the Steam version, mouse and keyboard, or the passage of time, but I'm way better at those games now than when I was a youngster. It might be using a keyboard and mouse. I know that I am terrible at first-person shooters when it comes to using a controller. I enjoy them a lot whenever I can use a mouse, but trying to play them with a controller, I just don't have the control for it. Got it. Oh yeah, I forget he does that. No! Oh gosh! I forgot that the guy jumps off the horse at the end. Having a mouse with a ton of buttons makes it easy, yeah. If you guys are enjoying the stream, please make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps out the channel, and the more likes a video gets, YouTube YouTube tends to boost it in the algorithm. So it just helps other people find my videos. Oh, I'm out of hearts. Got him. Tomorrow night we have our VIP make and chat for my Ko-fi subscribers. That's going to be on the Discord. And it's basically just a video chat where I kind of thank my Ko-fi subscribers, and I'm going to be building a Lego set. I know one of my other members is going to be opening a box of baseball cards. It's kind of just one of those, like, everybody get together, bring your own hobby, and we will just have a good time for an hour or two, just talking and chatting. So I'm really excited for that. I think it's something I'm going to start doing maybe once a month. Not sure. Welcome in. Hello, hello. How are you doing? Not sure. Oh, the hand scrap got me. That's what I get for looking at chat and not paying attention to the game. Stone Homie says, I have a theory that Dracula's castle is entirely made out of meat, and when you find some, it's just weakened stone presenting as flesh. That's, you know, not a bad theory. So the next game is actually set in France. It's actually set in Paris. And so the running joke is that if we don't get wall baguettes, we're all gonna riot. Hi, D. How's it going? Dude, I caught your stream the other day, and your chat is just popping off, dude. Congrats. It looks like you've got a lot of active viewers lately. Yeah, I saw you were playing Five Nights at Freddy's, and I think you were playing, was it Undertale or Deltarune that you were playing? Undertale, yeah. I have never played Undertale. I really should at some point, because it's supposed to be pretty good. I love the music. I listen to the soundtrack a lot, but I have never played the game. Speaking of wall chicken, Retro D says, let me know when you plan to play Undertale or Deltarune. I'll share it with my fans. It'll probably be a while, but I'll definitely hit you up whenever I do. I've got several other things planned that I'm going to do soon. I think we're going to do a Super Mario RPG series sometime soon. I'm still doing Dinkum on Saturdays, and I'm really having a lot of fun with that one. So I think we'll stick with that for a while. And then I want to do one of the longer Castlevania games soon. We'll probably end up doing maybe Portrait of Ruin. I think might be the next one that we do, since we just played some Bloodlines. Go away, Medusa. I forget that the water starts rolling through here. Mustang! Hello, hello. Haven't seen you in my chat in a while. How are you doing? Mustang says, I love the music for this level. I do too. I think it's probably one of my favorite tracks in the game. Such a weird level because the music just randomly starts moving around. Did I say the music? No, the water. The water randomly moves around. Like sometimes you'll be like, look at this. Look at this, okay? It goes downhill here. And then we'll get down to the bottom. Oh, it didn't do it in this spot. In other spots, it starts going in the opposite direction. Mustang says, I'm good. For whatever reason, I never catch you live. We've kind of changed up timing a little bit. Mostly I'm doing Wednesdays. We'll probably do Friday night. And then Saturdays I'm doing like a daytime stream. I'm actually thinking that this Saturday's stream, I might start a little bit earlier. I've been starting about 12 Eastern, and I think I'm going to push that back and maybe start an hour or two earlier than that. Right. I went thrift storing yesterday and actually found some pretty cool stuff. I will show that off a little bit later on, probably after we take our break. I'm really excited for one of the things that I found. Aquawolf says, it's amazing what you can find in thrift stores. We're pretty lucky. We actually have a pretty decent selection of them around where I live. We have... Oh, crap. I forgot about this part. We have a lot of military who live in this area. And so a lot of times what happens is they get stationed somewhere else. And they tend to do like house purges when that happens, especially if they're going overseas, because it's very costly to take all your belongings overseas, and the military, I think, gives them a limit on, you know, how much they can take with them without them having to, I guess, pay for it themselves. So we tend to get a lot of different things in our thrift stores. Not Sure says, we have 2 large indoor flea markets where I live, and you can find tons of cool stuff. All right, there's a fun question. What is your favorite thrift store find? If it's something that you are particularly proud of that you found in a thrift store. Oh, I should have kept the cross. I think probably one of mine is probably the Voltron figure that you guys can see on at the top of the shelf behind me. There's a large Voltron figure there, and it's actually a combination of several different figures. And the only one that I don't have is, I think it's the right arm. And I need to get it at some point. It shows up on eBay fairly often. This is the one where I want to make sure that I keep the cross. Die already, Snake Man. Thank you. Let's see. Stone Homie said, I'm off to get my D&D on. Have a good stream, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us, Stone Homie. Trial Fan said, oh, that's a hard question. Mustang says, I found a Sega CD once at a thrift store, but I didn't end up getting it because I know they're a nightmare to get and keep working. Yeah. Any of those really early CD systems, a lot of times you got to do some extra work on them to keep them going. No! Dang it. Where are you going? Yeah. Figure it out. Not Sure says, I also found this cool picture frame, and so I took the picture that was in it out. I had a signature. You took the picture that was in it out, and the picture had a signature. Okay, I think I understand that. Turns out it was a print that would have been worth $11,000 if someone didn't paint on part of it. Oh, no. That's a cool find. Do you remember who the artist was? I feel that way about, like, sometimes you see these people and they'll take, like, antique furniture. And then they'll go and they'll do, like, this Pinterest repainting or something on it. And first off, it usually looks a lot worse than if they had just, you know, done it properly. And then it also just tanks the value of a lot of them. Sorry if I'm not answering chat at the moment, guys. This sequence right here is a little tricky to get through. I'll catch up on chat in just a minute. Aquawolf says, I love to search for Pokemon. I only got Pokemon Stadium 2 with 2 N64 transfer packs for like under $10. That's a good find. I really kind of wanted that axe right there, but we'll just have to make do without it. No! I messed that one up. There we go. Alright, we got the axe, and we made the jump. I want the axe because it's a lot better weapon for this next boss fight coming up. You can do it with the dagger, it just doesn't work as well. A little bit more damage there than I really want to, but there is some chicken, so. Alright, here we go. Gotta fight the dragon heads. One of them. Oh, it's gonna be tight. Oh, whew. That was close. We had the same amount of health, and It was gonna be him or it was gonna be me. The bass lines in this game are pretty good. Love the soundtrack for this and Rondo. Absolutely. This is the level that I always end up struggling at. I always like the little detail of the skulls turning to look at you. Dang it. Kept getting stuck on the stairs right there. Alright, there we go. What'd everybody have for dinner tonight? I gotta figure out what I'm doing for dinner after the stream is over. I've got some egg rolls that I could cook. I'm not sure if I want to do them though, or if I want to save them for some other time. Oh, woo! That's a tricky jump right there, because those platforms start flipping as soon as you go onto them. Trial Fan says chicken burgers and tater tots. That sounds good. No! Mustang says, I'm eating mashed potatoes, brown gravy, meatballs, and corn. It's really good. That sounds good. I saw a recipe, like a video on YouTube earlier, and it's like steak chopped up with gravy over mashed potatoes, and I gotta make that soon because it looked really, really good. Huh. I didn't know that. All this time, I thought that these things flipped if you just stood on them, but they don't. They only flip if you jump on them. Go figure. Been playing this game for years, and I just now realized that. That's funny. That really makes this sequence a lot easier. Alright, boss fight. I don't like this boss fight. He's such a pain. I got stuck on the edges there. Not sure says roasted chicken thighs and potatoes. I'm easily pleased. That sounds good. And y'all are making me hungry. Alright, let's try this again. This would be a lot better if I remembered to get out of the way of the guy as soon as he falls. Because I know that he falls right in the middle. Didn't jump off fast enough. Alright, I'm going to tell you guys what. We are going to take a quick break. I'm going to find some music for you guys. Let's listen to... let's listen to the Circle of the Moon soundtrack. I'll put on some songs from that. And I will be back in just a few minutes. I'm going to grab some more coffee, check on Pixel, see what she's doing. While I'm gone, there will be a little announcement on the break page telling you about the VIP Make and Chat that is happening tomorrow, and information on how you can become a Ko-fi subscriber if you would like to. Ko-fi subscribers really help me out because they... let me turn that down just a little bit so you guys can actually hear me. So I'm disabled. I have epilepsy, and this streaming is one of my primary forms of income. So if you're interested, think about becoming a member. Totally optional. You don't have to, but Ko-fi members do get access to some really cool perks. They get a Discord role. They get access to exclusive events like the VIP Make and Chat that we're having tomorrow. And they also get access to discounts and stuff in my store and freebies and just generally being really cool people. They also get their name on the scroll on the Be Right Back page. So I will see you guys in just a few. Please remember to share the stream with others. All right, we are back. Aqua Wolf, when are you streaming again? Pixel has decided that we are no longer worthy of her presence. She is curled up asleep. She has a... It's kind of like a scratching post. It's like one of those cardboard scratching boards, but it's like shaped to a bowl, like a basket. And she likes to sleep in it, so... That is one of her favorite places. I think I decided that I'm gonna make some quesadillas after I'm done with this stream. I've got some of these little like guacamole cups, and they're really nice because they're kind of like individually packaged and they're airtight, so the guacamole doesn't get all brown and gross and stuff. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do quesadillas and guacamole. I might have some tortilla chips. I don't know if I still have some. All right, let's see if we can do this again without taking so much damage. Arthur, thank you. Thank you for the subscription. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Got him. Woo! Not Sure says, if you have a tub of guac and want to preserve it, put plastic wrap directly against the guac. I've done that. I've done that before whenever I've made it, but you know, I often don't make a whole batch of it just because if I do, I'll end up eating all of it in one go. This is such a trippy sequence. No! Theodore's says, Mexican food truly is the best. I work at a burrito spot and literally crave the food on my day off. I bet, dude. A really good burrito... I can't talk. A really good burrito from a really good burrito spot is like one of the best things on planet Earth. I really love the whip swinging mechanic in this game. The new Castlevania Belmont's Curse is supposed to have a lot of similar whip swinging mechanics to it. Trial Fan says, also, if you don't want to eat an entire avocado, cut it in half and put the half with the stone in the fridge, wrapped, of course. Who doesn't want to eat an entire avocado, though? I can kill a whole avocado just for funsies. Dancer says, now I want some. Johnny D, there's a remake of this game in the works by War Machine Studios. He's a YouTube channel and a Discord where the free game will be posted. It's currently in development. I did not know about that. That is really cool. Johnny, can you, War Machine Studios, okay. I don't know if you're in my Discord, Johnny, but if somebody will drop me a note about that, I would really love to check that out, and I'm not going to remember it after the stream is over. Not sure says this background can be a little bit much. Yeah, the rotating cavern there is tricky. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. Johnny says, glad to spread the fun word. War Machine has done remakes of Simon's Quest and Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse that are currently available to play on his Discord. Very cool. I'll definitely have to check that out. I'm definitely down for a remake of Simon's Quest. Johnny says, what's your Discord spot? I will just drop a link to it in the chat. Nope, nope! This is bad! I lose a lot of lives in this sequence from looking at my chat. I'm glad that Konami is a fairly loose company when it comes to IP, because we really have gotten a lot of good games that were sort of created by Castlevania fans. I was playing Vampire Survivors earlier, and I was thinking about the fact that one of the Reaper sprites is almost exactly a rip from Castlevania Bloodlines. They've changed a lot of the sprites now, but a lot of the original ones were very, very similar to Castlevania sprites when the game first launched. And of course now they've actually done an official collaboration with Konami for the Ode to Castlevania DLC for Vampire Survivors. Johnny says, invite accepted. Well, we are glad to have you. We actually do movie nights pretty regularly in Discord. We are still kind of deciding what to do for March. I know that some people had requested Back to the Future. I think E.T. was on the list. We usually do like 80s and 90s movies. So we may find something like that pretty soon. We watched Adventures in Babysitting for February. such a trippy sequence. Ah, hate that. Always makes me feel like I'm gonna get smashed into the ceiling there. Johnny says, it's great that Konami is working with other development teams to keep their franchise alive. The new Contra game by Way Forward was great in my opinion. I haven't played that one. I haven't really played... I mean, I played the original Contras, like way back in the day. But, oh yeah, this guy. Okay. He's not terrible. If I can dodge all the blocks. Yeah, the new Belmont's Curse game that's coming out is being produced by Evil Empire with some input from Motion Twin, who did Dead Souls. Dead Cells, not Dead Souls. Dead Cells being another game that Konami has done an official crossover DLC with. I think the new game is probably going to end up playing a bit like Dead Cells. I don't know why I keep calling it Dead Souls. I have a feeling it's going to probably end up playing a little bit more like that than like a classic Castlevania. Although it does look like it's going to be sort of a Metroidvania type game, because one of the screenshots from the trailer that they released shows a map, and it's got like save rooms and fast travel places marked on it. So. That was a bad jump. No! I messed that jump up big time. Red says, where is the tier list? The tier list was at the very beginning of the stream. If you would like to rewind, you can check it out there. Or if you want to catch it on the replay after stream is over. We did that as sort of our just chatting sequence at the beginning. Thanks for subscribing, Johnny Q. Johnny QD Belmont. I know you got to be a Castlevania fan. Johnny, what's your favorite Castlevania game? Oh no! Get out! Got him. Oh, I was going to show you guys my my thrift store finds after the break, and I completely forgot to grab them. They're in the other room. Maybe we will take a look at them at the beginning of our stream on Friday. Red Bean says, Rondo of Blood, a whole tier behind Simon's Quest? Yes. Simon's Quest, I will fully admit that Simon's Quest is ranked as highly as it is because of nostalgia. It was the first Castlevania game that I totally fell in love with. And it is definitely being propped up by the nostalgia that I feel for it. Because the game, I mean, objectively, it's got problems, but it is still one of my favorites. Rondo would probably be ranked higher, but I just don't have a ton of experience with it. No! Oh, gosh. Trial Fan says, now I want to go thrift shopping. I found some good stuff. I found a couple of Super Mario Kart racers that were part of like a I think they were part of one of the Happy Meal deals. I've got several of them already, but the one that I didn't have was Toad, and I found the Toad racer. And then I found a couple of old Reader's Digests from like the 1990s. Red says, so it's not a tier list of how well designed the games are, but rather your experience and nostalgia with them. It's a tier list of the games that I enjoy the most. I think gaming is a very subjective experience, and the games that I enjoy may not be the games that other people enjoy. Lenny says, I still need to finish this game, damn it. Johnny says, I like a lot of them. CV1 captures my interest as a kid. Simon's Quest got more appreciation as an adult. CV3, music and gameplay got me as a kid. And 4 has great visuals and music. I will agree with all of that. So by the sound of it, Johnny, it sounds like you are more into the classic Castlevanias. Where would you put Bloodlines on your list? Whew. That was close. We got 1 hit point left. Johnny says, Johnny D's my main channel, Johnny Q D Belmont is my gaming channel. I hope you enjoy War Machine and First Serve Gaming's games. I will definitely check them out. Lenny says, to be honest, I never finished any Castlevania games. I respect the franchise and will play them all one day. Man, I feel that. Like, there's several of the classic Castlevanias that I have not finished. Just because... Dang it. You got me there. Just because it's not quite the style of game that I am super used to. I really I love the lore of the Castlevania games, and I love seeing how the different games are interconnected. I have a lot more completion experience with like the Igavanias and some of the 3D Castlevanias. I apologize if I'm missing some messages, guys. I will catch up with chat in just a second. That sequence right there with the rotating chamber, I have to get through that pretty quickly. I have photosensitive epilepsy, and that chamber, for whatever reason, kind of bothers me a little bit. So I try to get through it as quickly as possible. Jamin X says Bloodlines on Genesis is usually underrated. I agree with that. I played Bloodlines for the first time on stream a week or two ago, and I fell in love with it immediately. Like, it was just a really fun experience. I wish it had more sub-weapons. It was kind of irritating that it only had a couple of them. But the music and the gameplay were just really, really nice. It's definitely one that I'll be playing a lot more. Mustang says the MSX one is definitely interesting if you've not played it. They made a different game on a grid since the MSX didn't scroll as smoothly as the NES. Lenny says, and people always play Super Castlevania 4 high up on their list. I have too much to play these days and not enough time. I need to finish Expedition 33. I'm about 10 hours in. I haven't played Expedition 33 yet. I would like to do that one. Mustang says Eric is a lot of fun on Bloodlines. Yeah, I definitely enjoy playing as him more than I enjoy playing as John. Just a slightly different play style. Although John has some cool tricks as well. Red Bean says Castlevania always has great music. It really does. It's one of those really cool series where the composers have done a great job of taking, melodies that appeared in the first couple of games and still finding innovative ways to make them sound fresh and new in the newer games. If you guys are enjoying the stream, please do me a big favor and hit that like button. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, we do Castlevania pretty regularly on this channel. I'm actually planning on probably streaming Portrait of Ruin fairly soon. And then we tend to do a lot of the other Castlevania games as well, just sort of interspersed. Dang it. Dang it, he got me again. Javon James says, still to this day, my favorite Castlevania game, Symphony of the Night, is close behind. We just did Symphony of the Night on stream not too long ago. Oh no. I screwed up there. Johnny says Bloodlines was good, hard but good. The Game Boy games were okay. The advanced games were decent, portable Metroidvanias. Symphony of the Night was good. Weapons, upgrades, story. What do you think about the DS? Aquawolf, have a wonderful night. Off to play some Pokemon Stadium. Hey, Aquawolf, before you go, when are you streaming again? CM Retro Gaming, welcome in. And Kylo Ren, hello. Kylo Ren says you can use the whip as a shield. Hold attack after the initial whip. Yeah, I know, dude. Just because I know doesn't mean that I'm paying enough attention to the game to actually remember to use it. My chat is booming right now, and I keep getting distracted. I don't think Aquawolf saw my message, but you guys should go check out Aquawolf. She has been streaming Okami lately, so I'm gonna give a little shout out there and drop that in chat. Kylo says, kept seeing the bat hits, that's all. Dude, I got you. CM says, I still think the first Castlevania game is my favorite. I like the first one a lot. Oh, come on. I was past it. Aquawolf says, planning on Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern if all goes well. All right. Well, y'all stop by and give Aqua a subscribe and tell her that Wobble sent you. The level sequences in this game are really long. Like, if you die on one of the bosses, you have a really long way to run back. Kylo says the new side-scroller Castlevania they announced looks great. It really does. It's a very different style from what we are used to for Castlevanias, but I think it's gonna do well. I think it will be a good game from the looks of it. I actually just the day that it was announced, I did a trailer reveal video and kind of talked about some of my theories as far as who the protagonist is and how the game kind of fits in with some of the other games in the series. You can find that video on my channel as well. Mustang says, I like too that these are interconnected with Bram Stoker's Dracula. Yeah, that was something that came about in Bloodlines, and it was sort of always implied that it was the same sort of Dracula, but it was never really confirmed until Bloodlines came out. Mustang said, it's being made by the devs that made the Castlevania DLC from Dead Cells. I think they're going to hit a home run. Johnny says, DS games, I'm at the Dominus collection. I'll answer that question after I played them. I got you. I really like Portrait of Ruin, Dawn of Sorrow, and Order of Ecclesia. I think all three of those are really fantastic games. The three that came out on the DS are some of my favorites. Society of Sin says, I do wish we would get a new classic style Castlevania. Yeah, I do too. And I think kind of one of the things that's been a problem with that is, you know, most of the Metroidvania style have included like a second playable character that plays more like a classicvania. But the problem you run into is that the game itself is still designed for an exploration, backtracking kind of play style. So I would really love it if you remember what they did with Bloodstained? Dang it. With Bloodstained, where they came out with Ritual of the Night, which was the Metroidvania style, and then they came out with what was it, Curse of the Moon, which was kind of more of the classic Vania styles. I would like to see something like that. Johnny said, if you want to tour Transylvania for real, consider Experience Transylvania as a tour guide. They sometimes tour with Dacre Stoker, descendant of Bram. Oh, that's cool. Kylo says Curse of the Moon is actually amazing. I have not played it yet. That is on my wish list. I really love Ritual of the Night, and I'm really excited for the sequel to Bloodstained that's coming out. I think this is going to be a really great year for video games. Oh, come on! Oh, why did I do that? No! Oh. That was terrible. That was bad. Oh, come on. Dang it. Johnny says, I met Dacre a few years back. He's co-authored a prequel and sequel to Bram's novel. The prequel is probably the stronger of the two. That's cool. Mustang says the PS2 Castlevania games are really good. I agree with that. Lament of Innocence and Curse of Darkness are really good. I like Curse of Darkness a little bit more. And I'm actually thinking about playing back through it sometime soon. There's a mod for it that is up there that kind of has like new graphics and adds a whole bunch of like quality of life features and stuff. I can't remember what it's called right off the top of my head. All right, let's see if I can not screw up this jump now. Johnny says the 3D Castlevanias, I need to play through those as well. Lords of Shadow is pretty good. It's a very different take on the game. It plays a lot more like the early God of War games. But it does have some, it's got some pretty good voice acting. Patrick Stewart is in it. And Jeremy Irons has a small role as well. I haven't played the sequels to that one, and I need to do that. I have them, I just have never gotten around to playing them. Too many games, not enough time. Oh, come on. Whew. Johnny says my promotions are non-sponsored, I promise. I feel you, dude. Go up here. Alright, take on the golem again. Oh, come on. I got off my spot there and I took way too much damage. Johnny says, Castlevania Chronicles are good. I played Lords of Shadow, great voice actors, yes. Good music, even if not from the canon. Yeah, the music was pretty good. I would have liked for Lords of Shadows to kind of fit more into the original timeline. I kind of get what they were doing, but I feel like if Konami has any problem, it's that they keep trying to do way too many reboots of the timeline and, you know, making things canon and non-canon. It just makes it a confusing mess for people that aren't, like, diehard fans of the series. Trial Fan says, Wobble, I've got to dip out. When's the next stream? We will be streaming on Friday. It'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern. I have not figured out what game we're playing yet, though. I'll probably just wait and see what I'm in the mood for. Mustang says... Sorry, dude, I can't read that right now. Give me a second. I'm gonna die. Mustang says, oof, I just tried to download that Castlevania Curse of Darkness mod and Mega Upload detected a virus in it, so be careful finding it, Wobble. Okay, wow. Yeah, I'll have to do some more research on that. I had literally just seen a video on it. I'm glad that your antivirus caught it. All right, so we're gonna do probably one more run on this boss, and if I don't get past him on this run, we may swap over to Kid Dracula for a bit, just because I kind of want to give that one a little bit more playtime. The first time I played it was when I did my Castlevania Bloodlines stream, and so I'm kind of interested in giving it a little bit more time. We only played it for like half an hour or so. Mustang says, yeah, it looks amazing. Now I want to play it. Curse of Darkness with classes sounds awesome. Hopefully there's a legit place to find the download for it. I hate that a lot of mods like that you got to be really careful with, because sometimes the only legit version is like hidden on some random Discord server somewhere. Okay, yeah, we're gonna stop on this game just because the rotation in this screen is starting to give me some issues with my photo epilepsy. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take another really quick break, and when I come back, we're gonna do probably about 20 or 30 minutes of Kid Dracula, and then that'll probably be the end of the stream. So I will be back in just a few minutes. And then we will pick up with some Kid Dracula. Please remember to like and subscribe, and if you know someone that would enjoy this stream, please send them a link to it. And I'll be back in just a few minutes. Alright, we are back. Give me just 1 second to swap my inputs. Move that over just a smidge. Kid Dracula from 1990. Like I said, this is the first time that I played this game was a week or two ago when I did my Castlevania Bloodlines stream. It's not a game that I have a lot of experience with. Johnny says, Stoneman Golem Boss, stay in the floating bricks area, no close range combat. Yeah, generally I do a lot better against the Golem Boss. I don't know what is up tonight. I am just not hitting it on him. Oh yeah, I forget you can charge up in this one. This game actually has some pretty cute music. Get us an extra heart. When I first picked this up, I didn't actually expect to see such a similarity to the Castlevania like level design. But you really feel like you're in Dracula's castle. Particularly, I mean, you got like this sequence here that's kind of like the clock tower. Took a heart damage there. These pendulums really remind me of the ones in Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which I guess is where they kind of got the design from, because I think this came out. I'm trying to remember if the clock tower in Super Castlevania 4 has the pendulums like that. I think it does. But this would have come out before that, if I'm remembering correctly. Because this came out in 1990. I think Super Castlevania 4 came out in 91. Missed that jump. I didn't notice that his face changes the first time that I looked at that. I'm going the wrong direction. boss fight. Mustang says, is this actually supposed to be Dracula or a la carte? I never could figure that out. It is actually supposed to be a la carte. The character is described as Kid Dracula. If you look in the manual, it actually says that Dracula is away from his castle. Galamoth is attacking. I think he's King Garamoth is the way it's listed in here. And Kid Dracula, a la carte, has to defend the castle. At this point, obviously, Alucard has not decided to turn away from his father's evil ways. Let's go for a spin. I couldn't figure out this minigame last time. I don't know what exactly I'm supposed to do. Apparently nothing, because I don't have enough coins this time. Let's see. That's how we swap. This is a trippy jumping sequence that really reminds me more of, like, something out of Mega Man than it does out of any Castlevania game. No! Missed that jump. Do you only get coins from these guys if you hit them with the... I guess you only get them. I guess you have to hit them with the charge ability. Johnny says, Wobblerocket, have you ever played the MSX Vampire Killer game? I have. It's been a really, really, really long time since I played it. Okay, there we go. So I need to go up here, around... Then I need to jump onto that one. And then come over here for the heart. And then try to do it again. Okay, so I gotta go to the top here. There we go. No! That was close. The monorail is a weird touch. Doesn't exactly fit in with Castlevania at all. one of them down. Okay, this is a cool sequence. We didn't get this far last time that we played this. Johnny says, MSX Vampire Killer is admittedly janky, and it helps to know how things work in the game, but I guess it has a charm for me nonetheless. Oh, come on. Missed that jump. That one too. Game over. Dun dun dun. Starts us back at the beginning of this this sequence. Turkey got me. I guess they're more like buzzards. Not so much turkeys. Swap over to homing. I can tell I'm getting tired. Got it again. Alright guys, I think that's going to be it for tonight. I'm tired. I need to go make some dinner. I'm going to make me some quesadillas. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. I had a wonderful time. I love Super Castlevania 4, and I'm really starting to like Kid Dracula. That whole monorail sequence was surprising, but a lot of fun. I liked it. I'm definitely going to play this game some more. So, like I said, thank you guys so much. Make sure that you hit that like button if you haven't already. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. Coming up, tomorrow night, we have our VIP Make-In Chat. That is going to be on the Discord, which I will drop a link to right now. That is specifically for Ko-fi members. So if you are interested in becoming a Ko-fi member, you can do so at my Ko-fi page. Memberships are only $1. If you do a membership for $1 a month, that gets you access to exclusive events. It gets you access to discounts in the shop, freebies, your name in the scroll on the break page. You get a special Discord role. You get all kinds of cool stuff. And it really helps me out. It keeps this channel in operation. I will see you guys on Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. I don't know what game we're going to be playing yet. I will figure that out. I may do another poll in the Discord for that. But then we will also be back on Saturday morning. We will be playing Dinkum, which is, if you've never played Dinkum, it's kind of like Animal Crossing, but set in the Australian outback. It's probably the best way I can describe it. It's a lot of fun. We've been enjoying that one a lot. Thank you so much to everybody who popped in, and thank you to my new subscribers. We picked up several new subscribers tonight. You guys have a wonderful time. I will see you soon. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye-bye.